Good morning, everyone. Well, you can tell by the description of this video that I'm I'm going to have to do this today. I write down stuff on scraps of paper. Let me see if I can find this other. Oh, here it is. Here's another pile of scraps of paper that I write stuff on, and I just there's a whole nother pile, dude. You can't even imagine. Oh man, motherfuck. Dude, you can't even imagine. The scraps of paper that I got laying around here. Come on, let's go. God damn. Here's the other pile of shit from the last, I don't know how many years I got to go through. I swear to God. And then what you'll do is all of this material, all these little notes and everything, um, you think are so important. You write stuff down, little scratch paper, put them on your desk, then all of a sudden you got too many, you put them in a pile, and you put them off to the side. You never rewrite what you need in the separate folders that they got to go in. And then when you remember that you have those piles there is when you have to find a number or a name or a website or something, and you have to go through all those piles of shit to find that name or number or website. And finally, it becomes too much. Well, finally, today it has become too much. My wrist is hurting me again. I mowed lawn yesterday for the first time this year. Oh, God, what a pain in the ass that is. First off, I had to get the mowers out of storage. Got to change oil, filter, check all fluid levels, air tires, battery, put the battery back in. Gonna need a new battery next year for the mower. Had to have a new battery for the four-wheeler this year. But no, piles of paper. So I would suggest a filing cabinet. I would suggest file folders, labeled with the individual notes that you've written down on separate piece of paper. Put them into those file folders, and then you'll know where it's at, or where to look anyway, and you won't have piles of paper all over the place. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I have, and I do that a lot. I write down stuff on little scraps of paper or in notebooks, and just keep flipping pages. I got stacks of notebooks I got to go through to find something, and it has become unbearable. I am now going to get probably a 2-drawer filing cabinet, a cheap one from Harbor Freight. I'm going to get some file folders and label each file folder. And I am going to start putting the scraps that I write down every night or every week on streams or whatever. And I'm going to start putting them in file folders. And if I need to find something, say something coin related, it'll be in a coin file, or it'll be in a gun file, or it'll be in a knife file, or it'll be in a permission file, or it'll be in a website file. And then I can just go through that file of little pieces of paper, and I won't have to go through piles and piles of paper to find something. Or to go through piles and piles of paper and look at it and go, no, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. Yeah, I need that little piece of information, but I don't need that stuff. So start Xing it out. You got this one little piece that you keep and you put it back on the pile. And you haven't gotten rid of any paper. You just gotten rid of some of the information that you have to look through. You see what I mean? It's just, my God, we as human beings are just so stupid. Oh, hey, yesterday I showed you some of the Titan International knives that I have. And then one I got from Sorcerer's Dan, buddy out in California. But I told you I had more. I thought I had one or two more Titan International knives. Well, I do. I got one right here. See? This is a little one, though. Now, I'm going to compare this one to my angry knife. There you go, right there. Those are those two knives put back to back. Now, this is my little angry knife in my hand. You see where that comes? Okay. This knife right here. You see where this one comes? Right there. Slightly bigger. Plus it has a nice little thumb groove right here. You can rest your thumb in. And it's got a nice little contours right here for your fingers. Now, I don't like that style of blade. I wish this blade was straight off and round and bellied, but that's a nice little knife. I like that as a skinner, especially as a skinner, because look at that, where my finger lands on that knife right there, right on the tip. So I can skin like this, and I can control that tip wherever it goes. And if you're like this and you skin, you don't have control over direction as much as if you have your finger on the edge and you use your finger, because you know how much pressure you're putting on your finger. You don't know how much pressure you're putting on the tip of the knife when you're holding it like this. You have more control like this, pressure-wise and direction-wise. And it hides the blade. And it hides the blade. And if you're going to poke someone in the chest, you can, or in the eyeball, or in the nutsack. You can poke someone with your finger and just go like that, and just go like that, and just go like that. This is not advice, self-defense advice, but this is just advice from a guy that's been using knives his whole life. Sometimes for defensive purposes, most of the time just for work. Just for work. Scanning stuff. It's a nice little knife. And it's got a little fake bone handle on, a couple of brass rivets, a nice decorative rivet, lanyard hole. That's brass. Nice little piece on here to tie the leather. It's a leather scabbard, actually. Nice little leather scabbard. Again, I don't like the belt loop, but I do like the snap on this one. Comes around and snaps right there. Yeah, I like that a lot. It's a nice style. It's a nice, it's even got a little bit of artwork on the back, leather work on the back right there. Titan International logo. It's a nice little knife. I will, this is one I keep in my pickup. This case, I see something on the side of the road. I've cut a deer's head off of that thing. So, with that little knife. And I bet I got one more downstairs someplace. I just didn't look for it when I put the other ones away. Anyway, I don't have any packages today. Hi, Cartier. I don't have any packages today. I was just so flabbergasted with the amount of paperwork and notes that I have laying around here that I have to start separating and throwing away. It just pained me in the ass, so I got to get rid of it. I do have to run to the bank today. I have to run to the post office again today. If anybody knows Dandy Dave's address, mailing address, I need it. I messaged him through PayPal. I put a notice out on the All-Star Hangout last night with MLZB and Jenny and Cash Money. And most of those guys don't know him, but he was my 200 subscriber giveaway, and he bid on something and he won it, but never sent me a claiming email. He sent me the money, but I need his email. So I asked Ginger. Ginger doesn't know him. I thought maybe it was one of Ginger's friends. I asked Meg. Meg doesn't know him. And then I put it out on MLZB's last night. I will ask on Steve Looking for Silver's website or stream one of these nights when he's on. This is tonight or tomorrow night. I'm not sure. Tuesday. I don't know. But I will ask there. But I need Dandy Dave's mailing address. Because he's got a package. I got it packaged up. All I got to do is address it. It's ready to go and ship it. And I hate that when people buy stuff or win stuff and then they don't send me a claiming email and then I got to hunt it down. You know, it really does. There comes a point where you think, I'm not going to hunt them down. If they're so lazy or forgetful that they don't send the claiming email, then whatever, you know. I don't want to do that. Anyway, I need his email. If anybody knows Dandy Dave's email. And I got his regular name. I'm not going to say it, but I got his regular name. Because that does come through on PayPal. I tried to look him up on YouTube. That didn't work because I doesn't have a channel. So I'm out of options right now. But his package is packaged up. I got my return label address on it. I got his real name on it. I just don't have a mailing address. That's all. Thanks, Regan. Should I just call you freaking or should I just call you awesome? Good question. Good question. Oh, did I tell you I fixed something? I had bought this a while back because I thought I was going to use this for doing coins. Now it's got a phone stand here, so you can put your phone on here. But it's got hold up a second. I will plug this in. Hold up. I'll put that over there for a minute. Holy shit, and I dropped it on the floor, and then I'm dropping shit everywhere. Hold up a second. Let me plug this thing in. Show you what I'm talking about here. Come on, you son of a bitch. Of course. Just like hidden numismatist, of course. All right. I thought I was going to use this for streaming. You put your phone on there and adjust it and all that good shit. It's got a nice tripod. You know. And I thought I was going to use this to stream with, but I can't use my phone to stream. But anyway, it's got several modes. It goes from bright to dim. It also goes from different lighting effects. It's goofier than shit, but it's red, green, blue, purple. It's and it will actually rotate through, or you can just go like that. Okay, my whole point in doing this was that the little controller right here, the wire pull out right here. This is the part that goes to the computer. There's only 2 wires in there that I could see. So I had to pull this cap apart right here, and there's a little circuit board in there, and each one of these buttons right here has a micro switch underneath, and that's what the board is. And I got to look, and there's 2 little places where the solder was real weak. So I took that and I soldered that back together. Didn't know which side red and black went to, or if it made a difference. Put it back together, and lo and behold, it works. I am not going to use this anymore. I would like to sell this. So, anybody want to make me an offer? It's an ONN, and I got the book for it. It comes from Amazon. So, it's got that long a cord on it. So, there you go. Anyway, yeah, there we go. I fixed that. Yes, I worked on radios, avionics. That'd be the electronics on aviation, aircraft, Hueys, UH-1 helicopters, OH-58 Kiowa helicopters, UH-60 Blackhawks. We had one H-1 Cobra. We had some fixed wings, but they were subcontracted to Beechcraft, and they took care of those. And I don't know how many, 11, 20, another 14, 15 years working on ground radios, teletypes, radio teletypes, radios, UHF, VHF, AM, FM, HF radios, and I'm a ham radio operator and night vision goggles, thermal imaging devices. I worked on all of that stuff. And so I do have electronic skills. along with a myriad other skills that I have. Now I'm at the age where I give advice a lot. I don't do the skills as much, but I do give advice. It'll always be freaking awesome. Ain't that the truth? Ooh, day off tomorrow, yeah. Oh, my wife had a day off yesterday. And of course, she's up early in the morning because she's up every morning at 4:30 anyway. So she gets up so early. I got up at 8. She was up outside working when I got up. So we got a lot of stuff done yesterday. We got the whole lawn mowed. I do the back and around the outside and the pasture and stuff. And she does the around my wood piles, and she does the lawn out front. A little wet in the ditches. I made some marks in the ditch with my mower, spinning my tires. Anyway, so I got to remember not to do that. Move trailers around. Got to move some more trailers around again. Got to mow underneath them, otherwise you kill the grass. Anyway, I got to wait till the pasture dries up a little bit. I have to load up some bark from where I cut and split wood. You got a bark pile. You always got to clean up the bark, and you can burn it, but you get a lot of dirt in there with it. So the 200 went good. Gave away a goldback, a Wyoming goldback, a $1 Wyoming goldback, and there's a little piece of silver in there. Gave away 3 bags of foreign coins, and there were, I know there were Canadian large pennies in there, Austrian, German, British, French, Spanish, island coins, and I know there was silver in each bag. Then we had a buck and go auction, and we buck and go. I had six different $1 goldbacks from 6 different states. So that went as a set. I had some coin stands and game cards. That went as one lot. I had a 2010 U.S. Mint set. That went as a lot. And what else did we have? Oh, I had I had a slab nickel, silver nickel or quarter. What was it? Nickel. Might have been a slab nickel. Anyway, that one went as a lot, and we had a set of 3 coins. It was the 100 or 200, 100th year, 150th year anniversary of the uh, United States Postal Service. It was the train service. When the U.S. Postal Service first started, they started with trains because they didn't have fixed locations. So they were just on train tracks, and you had to meet the train, mail your mail, and then your recipient had to meet the train to get the mail. So as a U.S. Postal Train Service, 3 coin commemorative set, 1 silver, 1 copper, and 1 bronze or brass. And that went as a set. All of that went buck and go. All of it. Separate sets. And it went pretty good. And I mailed it all yesterday except for David Frazier's the goldback set he won. Is it David? Yeah, Dandy Dave. I need his mailing address. Again, I need his mailing address. I messaged him through PayPal. I asked Meg, I asked Ginger, and I asked on MLZB stream last night. Nobody really knows Danny Dave, although I've seen him in streams before. So I will go on to one of Brad V's streams if it's either Silver Selling Machine or RC or Sterner or Brad or whoever, and I'll ask them also because I think that's where I've seen him the most. So I asked over there. '30th anniversary? What did I get wifey for 30th? Man, I don't even know. That's 12 years ago, dude. I'm on either 42 or 43 this year. 42, I think. Let me see. 80, 83, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 2023, 42 this year. And I remember my oldest daughter's birthday because she was born 10 days after her 10th anniversary. Just like that. We were married on the 20th. She was born on the 30th. And you want to know how big of a goober I am? I equate all my girls' birthdays with hunting seasons. My oldest daughter was born in the summer, so she's fishing season. My middle daughter was born, let me see. She born 15 months after. So she's deer season, deer and trapping season. And my youngest one was born in the spring, so she's always turkey season, turkey and mushroom season. Would you please do that? Freaking awesome. I've seen him around the streams. It's just that I don't see him in a lot of some of the streams I go to, and some of the other ones, yes. But yeah, I need his mailing address. Yeah, that's about the only way that I can remember things is if I correlate them to something else, something that means something to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like right now is turkey season and mushroom season. I went out Sunday after my stream, after my 200 subscriber stream. I was in another stream and I had spent like $72, $75, didn't win shit. And I just decided, nope, that's it. I'm going out looking for mushrooms. So I went out and looked for some mushrooms. Now, my father in law had been out, my brother in law had been out, my wife had been out. Nobody could find mushrooms. Yeah, I'll go take a look because I know they're out. They might be little grays yet or a little bitty yellows, but they're not they're not they're not big ones yet. So we need a shot of rain. Actually, we got enough moisture. I think we need some decent heat, then maybe a nice gentle rain, and then they'll pop. But uh, those are the morels I'm talking about because they're only in the spring. But you look in the woods, and if their bluebells are out, and the little yellow flowers, I don't know what they are, little bitty yellow flowers, about the size of my thumb, then mushrooms should be out. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we hadn't had. enough heat yet. We had rain. We had plenty of rain. We just hadn't had enough heat. Finally got some heat, and they should be out. But the shelf mushrooms, those are the pheasant backs that grow on standing deadwood, really, really deadwood that doesn't have any bark left on it yet. It's slick. Those are just starting to come out, and they should be out. But I only saw one large one on a tree, and somebody had picked at it. So I think my wife said she picked at it. So I, on some of the younger ones that were just coming out, I took the outside edge off because that's the stuff that's the softest. If you can't lay it on a board and just touch a sharp knife to it and cut it, it's too hard. But I got a nice couple of handfuls of pheasant back. Those are pheasant backs because they look like the back of a pheasant. I found one turkey tail that was fresh, and it was about that big. And those are polypore mushrooms. They look like a sponge underneath. They don't have regular spores, longitudinal spores. They have polypore spores that look like a sponge underneath. The pheasant backs and the turkey tails. And you know what morels look like because they look like a polypore mushroom, but on the outside, they look like a brain, basically. And then there are false morels. Real morels have a hollow stalk. A false morel has a solid stalk. So if you pick a morel and it's got a solid stalk, throw it away because it's poisonous. It'll make you sick. Anyway, I found a patch of, I think 36 I found. Some of them were only as big as my little finger, about that big, an inch tall and about that big around. Some like that. Some were, I don't know, over thumb size. And some were a little bit bigger than thumb size. That big around, a little bit. I think 4 inches tall was the tallest one I had. I had 36. So we cleaned them up. And with the pheasant backs, I fried them. I cooked steak, 2 humongous T-bones from beef that we... neighbor had a beef go down with a broken leg, so he said we could have it. Shot it, butchered it, hauled it over to my place, butchered it. And what was there, 4 or 5 of us, 6 of us that split up good God, was that a 1,500 pound, 1,400 pound beef? We split that, and I ate 2 great big huge T-bones last night. I'm telling you, 1.5 inches thick. So I fried them, and I made my wife exactly like she likes it. Brown on the outside and red on the inside. I like mine just a little bit pinker, not quite as red, but the same way. I like red juice running out of it. And she cooked some fresh asparagus, and I cooked the mushrooms in butter and put all that together, and my God, that was so good. So good. Because last spring, remember, I was laid up with this ankle thing. So I couldn't go turkey hunting. I couldn't go mushroom hunting or anything. So I didn't have any fresh mushrooms. Nobody brought me mushrooms. Nobody gives a shit about Gary. No, last spring, we didn't have any morels. That was it. We found 3 little ones. That was it. The year before, that's the ankle thing or my gut thing, one or the other. There were no morels. They were just dead. Nothing. We didn't have the weather for it. So it's been 2 years since I had any fresh morels. Oh my God, they were so good. Morel mushrooms grow around wood. They grow out of the ground because the spores and the root systems all travel underground. But mostly around, and you'll find them mostly, not all the time, but mostly dead elms. or elms that are going to die. If you can find dead elms where the bark is still on the dead tree and just starting to peel off, that's where you're going to find morels most of the time. But I have found morels because the wind will blow the spores, the spores will travel on the wind. So they'll grow other places, but not necessarily under the elm. But elm is where you want to find, that's where you want to look anyway. I found them under pine trees. I have found them in a rock quarry growing on just rocks, limestone. But that is the exception to the rule. Let's put it that way. If you find elm trees, dying or dead elm trees, that's where you look for morels on the ground. And more often than not, if it's too dead of a tree, there's no bark left on it, you know it was a elm at one time because you saw it live. But that tree has no bark left on it at all. Probably what we call too dead. And then also just remember what the prevailing wind patterns are in your area. Like if you get most of your wind from the southwest, that's where most of your wind comes from in the springtime of the year. Those spores will be to the northeast of your tree more often than not. And a lot of times, if you have hilly terrain, you'll find that with the trees up here, you'll find the spores wash downhill a lot. And I do have all of my ground around here slopes toward the river. So when I look for elm trees up here, I go downhill and look because they do wash downhill. Yeah, no, I don't think my subscriber base, I don't think they'll go up. I don't think we'll ever make 500, to tell you the truth. If we do, it's because people just like to listen to me pontificate about shit. I would like to. Kiwi is sending me a pan for gold panning. That God, what is the guy down there in Australia? I'm thinking of his name. Something Adventures donated a pan, a snuffer bottle, and a vial. Gave it to Kiwi. Kiwi's going to send it to me, but I got a whole package of stuff with Kiwi, so it's going to take a while for that package to get here. But what I'd like to do is buy some pay dirt and do a little some content of panning for gold. And then I would like to also go down to the river down here. And I've said this before, we're at the end of the Osage ice sheet, but here in northern Iowa. So I would like to go down the river down here and see if we can pan for some gold down here. No, I got a river right in the middle of the property. Where I live, I'm up here by the road. 2.9 acres, 3.3 acres of farm, the homestead. And right around me is about 20, 25 acres of farmland right around me, south to north and on the west. And then from there, there's a creek on the north side of the property from the road that runs down into the woods, a creek bottom. And on the south end of the property, it's about 50, 60 yards from the fence line, there's another ravine that runs into the woods. But there's a river on this property. It's called the Little Cedar River, and you can look it up on your map. It's or Google Earth. It starts up east of Austin, Minnesota, runs down through here, runs into the Big Cedar River down at Nashville, Iowa. So it's only like 50, 60 miles long. It's a big creek or a little river, if you want to look at it that way. But it runs right through the middle of this property. It runs through the middle of my nephew's property. It runs through the middle of my neighbor's property down here, two neighbors. and Phil Anderson and Jack Steyer's property. Up that way, it runs through Kim Schwab's. It runs through an investor from Las Vegas who owns that ground, but a local farmer rents it, Jimmy Blazer, and then up from there, it's Kimmy Schwab's, and then up from there, it's Monty North bought that, and I forget who bought that little piece in between there, but and then on the other side of that, it's Jerry Hoffman's on the other side of the highway, and that runs all the way up to Statesville. And then just keeps going up by Adams, Minnesota. And it's up there by Adams, east of Austin, where the river starts. Whether it's springs or tiles, or it wasn't tiles, it's springs up there. And springs all along that river, so that keep it flowing. And I mean, it was a big enough river that just about every little town along that river had a dam and a mill. Little Cedar right over here had a mill. Statesville up the river 3 miles had a mill. There was a mill up the river a little further in Johnsburg or whatever that little Minnesota town is. You go down here to, what was the name? Brownsville. So it would have been 2 miles down the river from me, or a mile down the river from me. We had a dam and a mill there. Then you went further down the river. I don't know if there was a town down there before it ran into the Big Cedar at Nashville. Because the Big Cedar and Little Cedar get real close together. They all almost run parallel down there by Charles City. And then you'll see the Little Cedar move in right at Nashville, because Charles City and Nashville are only like a few miles apart. So maybe 25 miles apart, 20 miles apart. So that's where it runs in, where they run into each other down there, is at Nashville. So this river isn't very long. It isn't very big, but it is at the end of the ice sheet. At the end of the ice sheet, and there are a lot of little valleys, gullies, and ravines and stuff that run into it. So I'm thinking that there may be gold in this river. Oh, on the other side of the river here, there's 40 acres of farm ground on the other side, on the west side of the property. Then we got the river bottom and the woods, and then it comes up, and then there's about another 30 acres of farm ground up here. Altogether, there's 160 acres here. I own 3 of that, so 157. Figure 70 to 80 acres of river bottom and woods. So there's 83 out of 160 is what? 77 acres of farm ground. Just figure 80 and 80. That ain't gonna happen, freaking. I'll bet you. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? Huh? You set the stakes. Oh, pheasantbacks are what we call a shelf mushroom. You'll see them growing on trees, standing dead trees. Those are the trees that are quote unquote too dead for morels. Shelf mushrooms grow on them, not on the ground. They grow on the wood, and you can knock on them, and they're just hard, like a shelf, like a wood shelf. But if you get them in the spring when they're first growing, coming out, the outer edge of that mushroom is nice and moist and tender. So you can cut off like an inch of it, the lip, and then take it to the house and lay it on a cutting board. And if you can take a sharp knife and just lay it on there with not much force at all and cut it, it's good to eat. We ate a bunch of it last night. And That's pheasant back. And turkey tail are just a smaller cluster of mushrooms, about that big actually, or smaller. And that grows on dead wood. Usually that's dead wood that's laying on the ground. And if you go to feel them and they're soft and mushy, then pick them, and then do the knife trick. I do that with asparagus too. If I can take a piece of asparagus and a sharp knife and go like that and cut it, it's good enough to eat, um, just like it is. But if I take a sharp knife and I go like that and it won't cut, that's when you got to peel the outer stalk off that mushroom because it's too tough to eat. Just little tricks that, you know. It's not really a brook, a babbling brook. It's a very large creek or a small river. That's what I'll call it. Let's put it this way. You're not gonna float a canoe down that river with somebody or too much weight inside of it because you'll be resting on the bottom most of the time. You will find holes in this river where it's could be 5 to 6 foot deep because in the spring you get flooding, of course, and then the holes will move. But most of the time it's knee deep, basically. Knee to let's put knee to waist deep most of that river, with the occasional holes, of course, that change every spring with high water. But I could take you down there and show you how I can show you how the river bottom has moved the last few hundred years. It's moved from the west to the east up along the bluff, and how deep that river used to be. I can show you that just in the topography. Now, before um, Iowa and the Iowa Conservation Commission reintroduced the river otter to Iowa. And there's a thing with certain species. Our forefathers, great great grandfathers, exterminated those species for a reason. One of the reasons that they exterminated fucking otters is because they eat all the fish in a river. They don't eat the carp, they don't eat the suckers, they don't eat the shad, they eat the trout, they eat the largemouth and smallmouth bass, they eat the panfish. And so now we have a trapping season. Now you can trap, what is it, 5? I think you can get 5. It used to be 1, then they upped it to 3, and then you had to have a DNR guy come out and tag it. You weren't supposed to take it out of the trap. You had to see it in the trap. And now you just tell them, they still got to tag them, but they took all the data, or used to. They would weigh them and measure them and sex them and check and see if they were pregnant or delayed in pregnancy, whatever. And now you call them, yeah, I'll be over. You got the otter out of the trap. It's up in the shed. It comes in, he gives you the tag, looks at it. Yeah, you got one. Okay, out. A lot of times you can take it to their house if they're too busy and they'll tag it there. So now I think you can get 5. I think you can get 5. And they'll do the same. It's the same thing with bobcats. We've always had bobcats up here. Always. Just not as many as we have now. And Iowa now has a bobcat trapping season in the lower, what is it, 3 tiers, the southern 3 tiers of states, and I think some in the western part of the state. But that area is slowly closing up. So we'll have a bobcat season up here shortly. I can take you down to the river to the sandbank because there's one sandbank down there that they always walk on. And I can show you bobcat track. I know what a fucking bobcat track looks like. All right? I know what a cat track looks like. It's a house cat track times 150. That big. That's a bobcat track. And it's in places where cats would walk. Because cats are cats. There was one caught up at Jerry Hoffman's place, so it would be 2 miles up the river. A guy trapping coon caught one. Oh, that was a big story. Big story. No, it's not a big story for anybody who knows any better. But yeah, that's town people. That's urban people who don't know shit about wildlife or what's out here or what has been out here. Mountain lion sightings. 2 miles from my place. Mountain lion sightings. Chasing deer. It'd actually be down on my nephew's property. Because he's got a big woods down there. How about black bear sightings? Always used to be just into the northeast of the state, up where Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois all come together up there along the Mississippi River. Always used to have black bear sightings up there, and then they started moving east and south. Well, now over east, an hour and a half drive from the Mississippi River to the west, started to come west toward my place and down. And there's a guy up there where I used to get my bees from, Golden Ridge Honey Farm. And if anybody around there sees a bear, they will hunt it to extinction. See, a bear you can legally hunt anytime. You can shoot them anytime here. They're a nuisance animal. But a mountain lion you can't, because that's a protected species in Iowa. Why in the fuck? Makes no sense to me. But I've seen a bear half mile from my place. So, and then down on my neighbor's property, we went out in a cornfield, and like you can tell when a bear gets in a cornfield in the spring, when corn is young and tender, like sweet corn, they'll sit down. They'll sit their ass down in the middle of a cornfield, and they'll just rake in armloads and armloads of corn, and then they'll just keep moving out and doing that. So it's a big bald spot in the middle of the goddamn cornfield. And that's not deer that do that. That's not raccoons that do that. I've spent enough time in Wisconsin and Minnesota around black bears up there. I've killed a couple myself. I know what black bears do and how I saw one going in a cornfield over here, not a mile from my beehives. And I took a shot at it, but I missed it. Anyway, we have them around here also. Bears, not so much. But every once in a while, we'll have a bear. And then mountain lions, because mountain lions have such a big range. I mean, you're talking 25, 30 square, 50 square miles. We're in between the Little Cedar River here, the Big Cedar River here, the Shell Rock River over here. So, and that's working its way west. So Little Cedar, Big Cedar, Shell Rock going west. And then going east, we have the Wapsipinicon, the Turkey, Iowa. And so all those little river valleys, those cats are back and forth between all of those, north and south, east and west. And so you only see them once every or twice every year or so, because and that's the male's range. The female's range will be smaller, but I know you got them in Texas, dude. Hell, I think you can trap them in Texas. Well, you can hunt them in Texas. I know that. California and Colorado are the two fucking stupid states that put mountain lion trapping and or hunting, made it illegal for some fucking stupid reason. Until more people get killed and the DNR gets sued for negligence for managing wildlife. The DNR's job is to manage the wildlife for the people of that state, to manage it for the benefits of the people of that state. And if they manage it so that those animals kill, maim property and people, then that's negligence. And as far as I am concerned, they can be sued in civil court for that. And they should be. And your elected representatives and senators that pass these fucking stupid laws should also be able to be sued, but they have qualified immunity, like police officers and firefighters and emergency services personnel have, which allows the police to get away with shit. So they can't be sued criminally, but they can be sued or charged criminally, but they can be sued civilly. So I think some qualified immunity is good because they have to have it to do their job. However, some of the assholes will use that qualified immunity to legally kill people, to legally seize assets, and you won't get them back for years and years if you ever get them back. So, yeah, some qualified immunity needs to go away. Civil asset forfeiture needs to go away, or needs to be reined in. Let's put it that way. It needs to be reined in. It's like the ATF needs to be reined in. Actually, the ATF should have went away when they abolished prohibition, because that's where they were created, for prohibition. And once prohibition was done away with, the ATF should have been done away with, because the rest of their job is the FBI or Treasury, or there are so many government agencies whose responsibilities overlap. Why do you think you got a $30-some trillion deficit? Well, what the thing with coyotes is, you'll find some coyote packs that will breed with dogs. Okay, so that's where you'll get a color variations a lot of times. I've seen yellow, red, German Shepherd looking, and that's not, or husky looking coyotes, and that's not normal. But you know that they've been breeding with dogs because they are a dog, so they'll breed with a dog. I believe some coyote populations actually breed with gray wolves, or interbreed with gray wolves, so they're a little larger and a little different color. But I don't think that's normal. When you think of coyotes, you think of coyotes as in the heat, in the sagebrush grounds of Texas. So you're talking heat, you're talking sand, you're talking sagebrush, mesquite, food that's not as prevalent as it is up here. Up here, coyotes can get to be 30, 45, 50 pounds a good male coyote and looks, I mean, like a miniature gray wolf. That's what the fur looks like. Now, females are smaller, 30, 35 pounds. That's normal. That's normal for a coyote. You get some males that'll weigh up to 50 pounds, but that's not normal. That's abnormal. 40, 45 pounds, that's probably normal for a male. I've skinned enough of them, I know. I shot enough of them. But no, those aren't coyotes. Then they're gray wolves. 80 to 100 pounds, 110 pounds is not a coyote. That's not a coyote. That's a gray wolf. It's either that or they're interbreeding with dogs, big dogs. That would be husky, German Shepherd, pit bull type dogs. That size of dog. My daughter's pit bull is a 65 pound female. And she's half pit bull, half American pit bull, and half American Staffordshire Terrier. And Staffordshire Terrier is a little bit bigger than a pit bull is, actually. So, yeah, everything's bigger in Texas except your dicks. I bet my gun's bigger. I'll go over to my nephew's and get his Barrett. I don't have a Barrett. I don't have $10,000 to spend on a Barrett. They have them on sale now. PSA has Barretts on sale for under $10,000. And I know his cost him 13, right at 13. And it's the same model. Not the single shot, detachable box magazine. So PSA has those on sale. If you want one. I don't especially want one. Not at that kind of money. If I'm going to spend that kind of money, I'll buy 5 ounces or 3 ounces of gold. 3 ounces. And I did tell you guys, right? I sold some gold. I figured while the price is elevated a little bit, I'd sell a little bit of my stack. Pay down some of my credit card debt. Or, yeah, just about pay it off. So I sold 3.3 ounces. All in 10th ounce, all in 10th ounces, 10th ounces. But they were the MMX Liberties, Liberty Head, if you've ever seen those. It's private minted for MMX, Money Metals Exchange, MMX. Their Liberty Head coin, which is 4/9 fine gold. I had 35 because I buy one a month. I sold 2 of them to Brad V, and he got them cheap. That was back when gold was like $2,200. So he got them cheap. So I had 33 left. I took them up and sold them. I got what did I get for them? I got right at 3,000. I got $3,090 a piece. So a little under spot. The guy that I sold them to made $110 a coin, I think. So he made, I had it figured up. He made, he made just right at 3,000, a little bit under $3,000. That's what he made on that sale. And I was happy with the price because I was almost at spot. I was a little bit back, but not bad. But from the time I bought them till now, the price had risen over $1,000. So, hey, I was happy with that. Yeah, I like to repurpose stuff too. And if I can't repurpose it, what I'll do is I'll scrap it. Copper goes in one pile, brass goes in another pile. Steel goes in another pile, and all of it gets taken up to the junkyard up there and sold, the scrap yard, and gets sold. But if you're going to maximize your money, you got clean copper, dirty copper. You got stainless steel. That's separate. From cast iron is separate. Prepared steel is separate. Unprepared steel is separate. As in dirty lead, clean lead. So, you know, if you want to prepare steel, if you want to cut it up into chunks, you have to look at the cost that goes into it for an acetylene torch or for your plasma cutter. The time and effort involved to clean copper. So, you know, you can take all the insulation or burn insulation off copper cords and stuff, and then you got clean copper. But you're going to lose some of the copper in the process. I'd prefer just to take copper up and just to sell it, copper cords anyway, and just sell it like that. Or I'll put ends on copper, like there's a 3-pronger that goes into a certain computer or whatever, and it won't fit anything else. Cut that off, go to the hardware store, get a regular extension cord and put that on there, and then you got an extension cord that's 2 or 3 feet long. You use them in the house for everything. So, yeah, I do that all the time. Hard drives, yeah. Yes, exactly. I'll take hard drives apart, discs, anything. Oh, discs, regular discs, just drill a hole in them, tie some fishing line on them, and you can make mobiles out of them and hang them out in the sun. They catch all kinds of sunlight. If you hang them by your garden or whatever, it'll keep the deer away. Rabbits, it'll keep the rabbits away. It takes quite a few discs to do that, though, CDs. But yeah, they make great targets too. But then you got to go pick the shit up. If you take them and glue them on, say like I got targets that are man-sized silhouette targets, military man-sized silhouette targets. Take and glue discs on and different like shoulder, center of mass, head, groin, and put the targets up there. If you can glue them on and then hang them up, they make great targets. Oh, the neodymium magnets, you can probably could sell to coin people so that they can test their coins. Or here's another idea for you: make coin slides. You can do that. So you can make coin slides out of PVC pipe or PVC sheets, wood, of course. What else could you make them out of? Oh, just thinking. Just thinking. Oh, and if you guys, I was watching B&B Prospecting last night, and he was talking about this old timer had told him to make a copper pipe thing that you could take the magnetics out of pay dirt with. Anybody know what? I'm going to have to contact him because I don't know what that is. But I did see a guy that made a quartz crusher, rock crusher out of pipe, square pipe, with a ram in it that he would crush rock. It's a good idea. I'm going to make one of those. I'm going to make that. I'm going to make one of them also, just to have one. Because I get quartz rock, a lot of quartz rock around here with sulfides and rust and cracks in them in it that a guy should crush and see if there's actually anything in it. I don't know. I guess I have always been fascinated with quartz rocks. So anytime I see one in the woods or river, I pick it up, put it in my pocket. I got quartz rocks just laying all over the place. Well, I did find a quartz rock once. I had a couple of flecks in. I thought it was gold until I put a loop to it. It looks more silverish than goldish. So I'm not sure what it is, but I'd like to crush it and find out. I would like to crush it and find out. I took the quartz rock that I had in here. I had some quartz rock in here, a couple of handful, big, big chunks too, like that. I took them out to the shed. So what I'll do is I'll do the tape and hammer test. So you take a square piece of steel and just lay it on a bench and take a roll of duct tape and put your quartz in the middle of that, and then take your hammer and just move it around. You can move the tape roll around, and then that way you don't lose any of the rock, and you just move it around and do the big pieces until you get them down into small enough to pan. So yeah, I thought it was interesting to see that trick, but I've been watching a little bit more pay dirt and prospecting and panning videos lately, because I want to start doing that. That's another skill I want to add to my repertoire. It would be fun to do. It'd be fun to do, I think. And blackish grayish in mineral form. Well, that's what this rock has got in it. So I'm thinking that they are 2 flecks of gold. I'm not real sure, but I think they are. Yeah, yeah. And I have heard that, but generally it's got to be where quartz um, has fissures in it. Like you'll see rust stains or sulfites in the quartz along in a string, and there'll be a crack, basically a crack in the quartz. Just real clear quartz, yeah, probably nothing. But yeah, running in veins would be right, and then in black sands also. I've always been heard that if you find black sand, you're probably going to find gold. Little gold, but you know, I'm not expecting to find huge nuggets. I'm not expecting to find even little pickers. What I'm expecting to find when I pan is just flake gold. But it would still be fun, don't you think? Big Nasty says that just good afternoon from me. From me. I got it. Let's see. Cartier has to go to work at 2, so he might be out of here. He might be out of here. But yeah, he was here at the start of the stream. I didn't see anything interesting on YouTube this morning, so what the hell? I don't have any packages. I went out and got the mail. Don't have any packages today, but hell, we got a pile of shit yesterday. So, and I'm expecting a pile of shit from. Well, let's see. We got anything coming from Can? I don't know. I do have something coming from Big T, Mama T, but that would be from Snipey Mikey. Yeah, from Snipey Mikey Pepsi. Um, from Can, I'm not real sure. From Durban, yes. From Ginger, yes. From Meg, yes. Second chance, yes. So still got some stuff coming, but as far as my stuff from MMX, I'm not sure. Let me see. January, February, March, April, May, June. No, I won't have anything from MMX until June because I don't get that delivered every 3 months is what I get that delivered. So I went from a tenth of an ounce of gold, was a month or two ago, to a gram of gold and 5 ounces of silver every month. So I went from 3 grams of gold to 1 gram of gold and 5 ounces of silver. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, sometimes I forget to send him payments 1 or 2 days, then I got to remember just before the auction. He didn't have an auction Monday because he was sick again. Still sick. Sorry. Still sick. And you know what I do? Freaking, I just when I get the invoice in my email, I if I don't pay it for a day or two, I just leave it in my inbox until I pay it. When I know I pay it, then I switch it over to another folder so it's out of my inbox. Otherwise, I'll leave it in there, and then that reminds me because I check email every morning. So yeah, that would have been kind of fun. But 20 years ago, if I'd have gone to Yosemite, I'd have been skydiving off of the cliff. I'd have climbed up the backside and jumped off the front. Just sure as shit. Because I got a friend who lives out there who's made a skydive off of El Capitan and from what's the other one that they jump off of? It's the hooded one. They jump off El Cap and I forget the other one now. Oh yeah, that was like when we went to Canada fishing. You could look down and see the bottom of the lake, just clear as shit. And that's when fishing for bluegills is the best. Oh man, I fished a quarry once down in southern Iowa. It was so clear that 15, you could see the bottom 15 feet down. You see these big male bluegills were sitting on the nest, guarding the nest and fanning it. And anything that got in that nest, they would pick up and spit off to the side. So you take and you throw a jig out there, just a little bit of worm on the end of it, little bitty tiny jig, like a 32nd of an ounce, and pull that up and pull it into the nest, and then just sit there and wiggle it, and they'll come over and look at it, and then they'll pick it up and try and throw it off. So when you set the hook, man, I got them mounted out in my mudroom. I have 3 giant bluegills. I save the biggest ones, and they're big. You know what your dinner plate looks like, right? Well, when the lips are hanging off, the tail's hanging off, you know you got big bluegills. I gave 3 to my brother. I kept 3, and no, 4. He got 4, and we had them mounted. It's the biggest bluegills ever. And then I had a taxidermist run off with my red-eared sunfish. I caught 3 or 4 red-eared sunfish that were just beautiful. And I gave it to a taxidermist, and he had them mounted. He just didn't have them painted yet. And then him and his wife got divorced. He moved to South Dakota. She moved out to Western Iowa. Still have my fish. Maybe someday she'll do something with them. I don't know. But yeah, I'm telling you what, man. There are places where the water is just so clean, so pure. You can see the bottom 15, 20 feet down. Just clear as day. Yes, you always have room for another coin. Just get another safe, clear out a spot, put the safe there, then you'll fill that one up. See, it's like me here, or anybody that lives in the country. You can never have too many sheds. I have one old shed out back that has that's where I keep the lawnmowers, rototillers. There used to be animals in there, sheep basically. Used to be sheep in there, and it's totally open on the east side and closed up on the north, the west, and the south. But it's open on east. So what I did was closed it in, put sliding doors so that only one section is open at a time. So you have to slide two doors to open any one section. And I raised dogs in there. For years, I raised English smoothcoat terriers and sold some dogs. And now, I kept chickens in there. I kept peacocks in there. I've had guineas in there. Now, um, for 2/3 of it, no, let's say we divide it in one, two, three, four, 5 sections. 5 sections of maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 foot apiece. Um, Two of those sections, we keep lawnmowers, rototillers. I've actually got a radio tower in there that I took apart and bought from a guy until I find a place to make a big hole and cement that in. But keep lawnmowers and stuff in there. Then the rest of it, I got some wood stacked in there, windows, and all the rest of it's just firewood. My firewood's all in there underneath the roof that way. So it can dry out and it's not wet sitting out in the rain. Um, I have another shed right out here that has another add on to it that was on the old barn foundation that was there. There's a old barn that was there in a silo. Well, this shed was built on that foundation. So the north wall is actually the cement wall from the old barn. And then the rest of the shed is built around that or on that. And I will keep some wood in there or a tractor, skid loader, wagon, some stuff. And that's where I had my skinning room in there also. So I made a wall in there and I insulated everything. And the one side is nothing but skinning room. The other side is, I call it the warm side and the cold side. Then you have the add-on where they used to keep the combine. That's just nothing but poles and tin there. But I'll keep wagons in there or whatever. And then I put up another shed down there to the north, and that one's a 60 by, see, that was a 120-foot shed by 55, 60 by 55. And that's where I have my butchering room and my metals room in there where I work on metal, knives and stuff. And then one corner of that is my forge floor where I have my power hammer and forge and all that stuff. And then the rest of it, well, I do have my 8x10 walk-in cooler on that pad, but the rest of that's just storage. Boats, tractors, you name it, trailers, everything's in there. And it's full. Everything's full. I need another shed. You can never have enough sheds or storage space. Like where I grew up, where my stepdad is, we tore down an old chicken house, cleaned out portion of the grove, put up the hell is it, 50 by 35-foot shed there with doors on the south and the east or on the west that slide open. And that was all for tractors, wagons, farm equipment, basically. And he had a bench in there with an air compressor and welder and blah, blah, blah. And as the old buildings come down, new buildings went up. Another shed to the south, same size. sliding door open to the west and the north. And that was all farm equipment and honey equipment and bee equipment, and filled that one up. And then the barn came down. The old hog house came down. The chicken house came down. And then new sheds in their place because you have to have places to put stuff. And the animals that you raise or don't raise change. The buildings get old and fall down, and you put up new stuff. So there's always more room, Seth. Always more room. Oh, that's not good, freaking awesome. Highway mile markers? No, unless you bury shit off onto private property, not along the right of way, because they always dig that shit up just to redo it. Oh God, expand the road, whatever, ditch it. Nah, I wouldn't. No. Yeah, yeah. Well, that was another thing I was thinking about doing, getting a metal detector too. I don't know what I should get though for models. I'm gonna have to talk to Tom Moore because he's got one and he does a lot of research on that stuff. So I'll talk to him and see what he recommends I buy. I want to buy like something $500 or less, but I don't want to. I don't want to go overboard on it. But just looking for metal would be something I could do. Yeah, but then you got to get the kids interested in metal detecting and interested in finding stuff and interested in coin, and they may or may not. So then you're doing it basically just for you on a hope that someday they'll do it. Maybe you enjoy doing that and that's fine, but just realize that maybe those coins are going to be lost forever. Off the beaten path, exactly. Like right down here, and I told you that glacier had come down through here, and I can show you how the river has changed its bottom over the years. It's gone from west to east up along a limestone cliff, basically. And then you go up that about 20, 30, 40 foot, and then it levels off and becomes farm ground. You got a little bit of woods and then farm ground out there. Well, if you look, um, and if I really wanted to expend the energy, I could make a cave into that because it's rock. It's rock. It's limestone and clay. That's why I think we have gold here because it's all limestone and clay here, and clay catches gold. But anyway, I can go into that rock if I want to, clean that out, and I can make a cavern and bury shit. But would anybody ever go looking for it? I mean, I could probably leave treasure maps behind, and that could be something. Yeah, it could be something. I might do that. It's just I got enough other shit to do other than going down there and moving rocks. There is a place on the other side of the section. There was an old farm place there. So it'd be 2 miles on the other side of the section because it's a 2 mile section east and west, a 2 mile section north and south. 160, 380. Yeah. Might be a mile east and west. And it's 2 miles north and south. But on the other side of the section, there's an old farm place over there. And when I was tapping trees in that old grove, I found the house foundation. I found the old cistern. I found the old shed that was out there, that foundation, and there's still a bunch of shit there. But I was following coon tracks. There was a trail going someplace, and I started clearing stuff out. There's a fucking cavern that goes down there. The hole is only about this big, and I'm going to have to go out there and enlarge the hole and take a flashlight and look down in there. But the coon were going down in there. I think there's a little cave under there, and it's not far off from the house foundation or the cistern. Maybe 30 feet away from it. There's that hole that goes in the ground. A coon and possum tracks going in there. Just a beaten path. So I need to take a pickaxe and shovel and go over there with a flashlight. So I can get my head in there and look and see how extensive that is. I think there's a little cave under there. I really do. Because they wouldn't have put a cistern in right there if it didn't hold water. I'm thinking it was a natural cistern. But that'll be interesting to find out one of these days. Oh, okay. See, freaking awesome for a bit. My mom gave me a tube of buffaloes the other day, and my son got to find them. Got to them. Got to find them. I found 8 so far. You have, or your son has found 8 so far. Hmm. Hmm. 2 are in the trash. In the trash. Just hiding them around the house, maybe? Is that what she's doing? And so he could find them around the house? How old is the boy? I guess that would determine where I put him, I guess. The age. But yeah, that'd be kind of fun around the house. Like hunting Easter eggs, but hunting coins, and then that way he would get to keep them. And then you could actually take him to the LCS and have the LCS owner buy them from him, and then give him money and say, "Here's what that stuff is worth. Here, and do the life lesson thing, And it doesn't have to stop with finding the coin. Yeah, that's fun in and of itself, but then taking it to the LCS and getting money for it, and then explaining the difference between fiat currency and the silver and assets, and it all depends on the age, but that would be kind of cool. All right, it's at 12:51, 1 o'clock, so I have to put pants on because I still have comfies on. Put pants on. I got to run to town, mail a package going out to Jenna. I am sending her a whole bunch of stickers and that nasty ass freaking candy that Oregon sends in these packages. I won't eat it. I think it tastes like, 3. Yeah. Okay. Well, if 2 of them were in the trash, yeah, you better be mad at yourself. Or if they were 2 1-ounce buffaloes, guess what, dude? You were throwing like $64 in the trash. No. Oh, and I need to make a big announcement one of these. I'll come on do another live, but I bought a set from Can. They are Canadian sports themed 50-cent coins, but they're 925, and they come in this nice little tin with their little monogram of the sport on and everything, and it slides into this set that I have out there. I bought what he had left of the set. He was selling them individually out of the set. And no, don't do that. Well, anyway, I have 7 out of that set, and there's supposed to be 4, 8, 12. There's supposed to be 12 in there. So I'm missing 5. He sold separately. And I need to make a post about that. And anybody who bought those, I'd like to get them back. I'll buy them back at double what you paid for them. I'll buy them back just to make that set whole, just to make that set complete. So, yeah, I got to make a post about that. But they are a real nice set. They're 50-cent coins. They have different sports on, like curling and skiing and speed skating and hockey and whatever. And then they have this nice little tin thing that flips up, nice writing on everything, and it's got the monogram of the sport on the outside of the tin too. And they slide into um, spaces in this big box. I'll bring it in. Well, I'll show it. God damn it. I forgot that. I should have done that this morning. I'll make another post either tomorrow or tonight, or it depends on who's on. But um, I will buy those back from the people who bought them on Cans. And I will actually go on Can's auction. And he was doing sing-alongs last night, campfire thing. And so I had to go do whatever. So I couldn't. But I'll make an announcement on his auction that I'll buy those. Yeah. I understand. A 3-year-old can understand finding stuff and the joy of finding stuff and the affirmation that goes with it, but he wouldn't understand. He might understand going to the LCS and getting money for it, but he wouldn't understand the difference or the instruction on assets and fiat money and real money and blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't understand that yet, but, little bit by little bit as he gets older and older. So, yeah, that would work. That would work. And also, you get him some books, too, while you're at it. Hold up a second. You know what? I'm going to go to your channel for a second. What the hell? I'm not subscribed. Okay. Now I'm subscribed. I'll come back later and make a comment. I don't know why I wasn't subscribed to you. I know I am. I know I am to freaking. So yeah, just. And every once in a while, you'll find YouTube will kick you off. It'll kick you off because I can go over to the side and check the whole list of my subscriptions, and there is a pile of them missing. I think maybe YouTube, the algorithm sees how many times you go to certain channels, and then if you haven't been to a channel in say 6 months, then they'll just kick you off. I think it's all algorithm and AI based, and it just goes through. And if you're not looking at that channel, say like within 6 months, you're gone. That's because there's only so much memory, I guess, maybe that you can take up. Maybe I don't know. All right, here's what we do. We're going to end the stream. I think the next time I come up, I'm going to bring up that Canadian sports set and make an announcement. I'm going to keep that in the house instead of taking it out to the other safe. Out to this safe or the other? See, I don't have all the safes here. Some of the safes are different locations, so I have to. Where are those sets at? Hey, it's the Irish Collector is in. Let me do something for you. Mr. Irish Collector, I will make you a moderator. All right. And then I am going to go to your channel also real quick and see what you got there. And subscribe to you. Okay, we got that done. All right. No, the only reason, and I do this just because, so you guys could go to each other's channels and subscribe to each other. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that. You couldn't do that. So you can always be taken off if you don't want to be a moderator, or if somebody causes trouble, I can always. Not a big deal. But actually benefits you guys a lot. So. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, I got to do a post. I'm going to bring out some of you see them over there on the backside of Mr. Turkey there. Those guns right there, all of them. And over here also, there's another collection, but those are all foreign over there, mostly Russian, and these are all American except for a couple Lee Enfields in there. But the Lee Enfield should actually go over to this other one, but I don't have any room in there because there's 2 AKs, SKS, Type 56, Mosin Nagant. I don't know what else is all in there. Russian stuff, basically. Kalashnikov was a genius. Lee Enfield rifles, genius design. All the Browning designs were genius. Certain weapons developers, I look at it and I go, man, oh man, how the hell did you ever think of that stuff? Somebody had to sit down with a piece of paper and a pen after they started tinkering with stuff on their bench. Well, if I do this and we put a spring here, how about a rod there? Or then the gas systems came after the mechanical systems. You got roller blocks and piston driven, and yeah, and then gas driven. Just amazing thinking. All right, guys, I'm going to end this one. I got to go do some stuff. What am I going to do today other than run to town? Well, I got to get a Mother's Day card. God damn it, that's coming up this weekend. You guys too. Remember that Mother's Day weekend's coming up. My daughters are coming to take my wife out. I will not. I cooked supper last night. T-bones and fresh mushrooms and fresh asparagus, and we sat down, ate together. That was a good meal. So we'll see you guys later. Peace out, man. See ya.